Good morning. This morning's video is from my backyard because I got up a little bit early and have time to do it. Behind me I've got some bamboo, which we'll talk about one of these days. It's an interesting plant. These are some iris that I talked about a few days ago that I thinned out a neighbor's bed and planted these guys, so I paid $0 for them, and they're doing really, really well. I'm super proud of this situation. Right there, there are some lilies, some Asiatic lilies that my husband bought recently. They're really pretty, but they're still kind of straggly, which is why I built them a little bamboo thing there. And right here along the fence are weeds. So now you've met that part of my garden. Quick reminders for September 10th. It's September 10th, it's Thursday, right? I messed that up yesterday. Earbuds. Those of you in the classroom or on the patio need to have earbuds. Not just any earbuds, but earbuds that will work with your computer by Monday. I'm going to give you a grade for it. I really, really want you to do this so that you're not distracting to other people, including me, when you watch videos in class. So next Monday, those of you who are in class need to have earbuds that work with your Chromebook. I am no longer accepting warm-up videos from weeks 1 and 2. I entered those grades in Schoology last night, and I am not going to change them. So you've had plenty of time. Warm-up morning videos on Edpuzzle from the first and second week of school, done. If you didn't get them done, you've got a low grade for that, but you're going to have plenty of time to bring it back up if you keep doing your schoolwork like you're supposed to from here on out. CK12 work. I have not entered that yet. I worked on it yesterday, but I did not have time to enter more than 3 grades in Schoology. So if you are behind on CK12, I have not noticed yet. So you need to get that stuff done. I will grade them next Wednesday, and I will put them in Schoology next Wednesday, and I'm not going to change it once they're there. So if you're behind, figure it out now. All of your assignments from CK12 will be in CK12, so you should go there. And if you have assignments, even if they're under the missed deadline tab or whatever, do them real quick. I will put them in Schoology next Wednesday. Deadline for History of Chemistry video. Yeah, that was your homework for last weekend, right? The BBC video on the volatile history of chemistry, part 1. A bunch of you did not do that. Like, a bunch of you did not do that. I don't know if you thought that weekend homework was optional, or I wouldn't notice if you didn't do it, or whatever. Some of you did, and that's great. A lot of you didn't. So do it. I was going to enter it in Schoology last night, but a whole bunch of you didn't have it, so I thought, I will be nice to them and give them another chance. Next Wednesday, it gets entered, and if you have a 0, I'm not changing it. So this morning, we are going to talk a little bit about some questions that I have had about the coronavirus, COVID-19, from previous videos. When I talk about this, a lot of times I'll say, is there anything that you still want me to answer from this, about this topic? And lots of people have had questions. I don't think I can address them all in this morning's video. Some of them will have to wait, but they're good questions. And you know what I say about you asking a question. If you are brave enough to ask a question, chances are a dozen other people are curious about it but just didn't ask. So if you see your question this morning, congratulations, you did something nice for other people. One question we had is the coronavirus really from China? We've heard a lot of people talk about it as the China virus or whatever, which seems silly and hurtful to me because it's not accurate or nice. Anyway, is it really from China? So initially we thought that the virus originated with some wildlife in China, in the Wuhan area. We thought that like a pangolin gave it to a bat, and their bats in Asia are different than ours. We have like little bats. They have huge bats that eat fruit, and they're super cute, but they're also apparently good to eat. So the idea was that a pangolin gave it to a bat, and then somebody bought the bat to eat and cooked the bat, like killed the bat, cooked the bat, and ate it, and somehow got the coronavirus that causes COVID-19 from that. That was what we thought initially. That's what we were discussing in March. Since then, that's become a little bit less clear. It's still possible that that is what happened. Some people also think that it was an accident that was somehow released from an immunology lab or virology lab, I don't remember which, in Wuhan, China. So the very same area in China works on stuff related to viruses. And so some people think that they had some sort of accident and it got out. Some people think that it was intentional, that they designed something horrible and then like put it out into the world so that people would catch it. There are all kinds of things that people think might have happened. And you know how this is, like lots of people have these crazy conspiracy theories, like, you know, it's a political thing that somebody went to China and planted it to make China look bad. I have seen something that is like it's of cosmic origin and an asteroid brought it to Earth. Right now, the focus of the medical science community is way more on what do we do about it? How does it work? What are some treatments for it? What is a possible vaccine for it? I wish I could tell you I'm certain where it came from, but I can't. So that's just the truth of the matter. I will put a link in the comments right now so that you can read some more about that yourself if you want to. What if a student or teacher gets it? Was another question that was asked. My understanding is that the school will do contact tracing. So either the student or the parent or the teacher will tell the school, and or the Department of Health will tell the school, like Mr. Sen and the nurse, and those people will sit down and figure out who that person would have had close contact with. So did that person breathe on nobody else or an entire team of whatever ball? So that's something that administration and the nurse will try to figure out. And then those people who are determined to be close contacts of the person who tested positive for COVID-19 will be notified and asked to quarantine until they can go get a test and show that their test came back negative. So just because we were around someone who tested positive for COVID-19 doesn't mean we're going to automatically get it. It just means that there's a decent chance we might get it, and we need to stay away from other people until we have a test to find out. Regarding the rules for contact tracing, they have changed a little bit in the last month or so, and I have feelings about that, but we'll not go into it. Right now, what it looks like is that anyone who can be determined to have been within 6 feet of a person who has a positive test for 15 minutes or more within 2 days of the onset of symptoms or the test will be determined to close contact and asked to quarantine and get a test of their own. So again, the recommendations of that are a little bit fluid right now. I'm going to put a link in the comments so that you can look up current information yourself if you're interested. How many people need to be out, either isolated or quarantined, in order to shut down our building? They haven't really said. And I don't think that's a number that anybody has nailed down right now. If there are a significant number of quarantines or tested positive coronavirus cases in a building or a school or a district, the superintendent is supposed to work with the Department of Health to figure out if it would be prudent to shut down the school, or if they just need the school building, or if they just need a couple days to clean really well, or exactly what steps to take. So that is something that Dr. McNulty will need to decide in talking with the Department of Health people at the state level. I know that there have been some individual schools and I think some small districts who have already closed buildings and gone to virtual, either for quite a while or for a couple of days, because of positive tests. More than that, it's been more like a quarantine thing. Like there was one school that half of the elementary teachers had to quarantine. Well, there's no way that they can take care of, kids in seats if half of them are at home waiting for test results. So they had to shut down the school temporarily, teach kids from home while they figured out who has COVID-19 and who doesn't. So how many people need to test positive or be in quarantine for our school building to be shut down and for you and I to be teaching and learning virtually? I don't have the answer to that. And I just hope very much that the people whose decision that will make a wise decision about it. How many cases in Maumelle? Okay, so if you're watching this today, the answer may be one thing. If you're watching this Tuesday night, the answer may be something else. So There is a website that the Arkansas Centers of Health Improvement has put out that tracks positive cases by zip code and by school district and by, I don't know, county maybe or something. Anyway, I'm going to put a link to that in my comments right here so that you can look it up for yourself, so you'll have up-to-date information. Another question, how many people are asymptomatic, have COVID, but don't show that they have COVID? Again, this data keeps changing, or the number we're hearing from medical professionals and scientists keeps changing. I want to underscore the fact that that does not mean that the virus keeps changing, and that does not mean that science is wrong about what we say initially or a month ago or whatever. Remember that science is a process, right? So we start out with a hypothesis. We start out with, this is what we think we know. We test it, we get more data, and then science is willing to revise what it thinks based on new information. So what you've watched all summer is the process of scientific research. So that's why these recommendations and these numbers are adjusted a little bit as time goes on, because we have more data to let us make a more and more accurate statement about it. So right now, it seems as if about 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic. So what that means is that if there is a group of people, however big, and 10 of them have COVID-19, 6 of them will have symptoms and 4 of them won't. And the reason that is, I mean, that's one of the reasons that COVID-19 has been so dangerous, is because it can be spread really effectively by people who do not show any symptoms. So do you or I have COVID-19 right now? Probably not, but none of us can be 100% sure, which is why we're wearing the masks, so that if you or I do have the virus, we'll keep the virus close to our faces when we breathe or talk or whatever. The air from our voices will not go all over everybody else, right? It will stay right here close to our faces. So if we do have an asymptomatic case of COVID-19, we will not share that with other people. I have a good website from the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, that I'm going to put in the comments right now, so that you can, again, look up the current information or read more about what I just said if you'd like to. There are tons more questions that I want to address. We may do that tomorrow, we may do it next week, but I'm already up to almost 13 minutes, so I'm going to conclude this. Today, you will need to check Schoology and or stay tuned in class, whether you're online or in person, so that we can talk about what exactly you need to do as an assignment for today. So, learn lots, have fun, try to be good at something. I'm here if you need me, and you know that.